Hi chat! Welcome in everyone. Wish you a happy Wednesday. What's going on? Hello, Whale Poker. Still grinding light. I've increased the time on that like 3 or 4 grinds in a row now. We're still under 20 there. Not sure what's up with that. Oops. I see Scramble's being easy on you tonight. Yay! I was gonna say you're gonna rue it if you don't guess that one. I am so, like, the difference between being able to communicate voice and typing. Like, I almost don't want to type in chat. Like, it never seems to work right for me. What am I making again tonight? Oh, tea. We're doing tea. It's tea night, chat. We're doing iced tea and everything. Well, just about everything. I'm not doing it with asparagus. So, thank you for joining me, everyone. Cheers. Need to turn you on follow mode. We're recording back here, right? Yes. Yay! Where do we start with things tonight, with dinner tonight? We got the rice, we got the cake, we got that. Let's do our marinade first. Marinade sounds like a good plan. Start with our iced tea. Grab a bag here. Drop 2 of these bad boys in here. I think the other 2 are going to go in the fridge for later. Okay, into the ones for tonight. We're gonna throw... I don't know if it's supposed to be shaken up or not. Does this count as a bottle, chat? Does this count as a bottle? Might as well just leave this out. Healthy pinch of salt. Black pepper. Basically doing lemon garlic tea pork tonight. Black pepper. Alright, we'll let those hang out here for a bit. Stew is amazing. Like, I think you guys realize that I'm not Mr. Vegetarian. That was delicious. I mean, there was chicken stock in it, but I was just using it because I had chicken stock. And bread, it wasn't a classic baguette recipe, so it didn't have the nice exterior of that. It was, I did essentially a dinner roll recipe, so it was a soft white bread. It had a nice cook to the bottom to it, so it had some crispness to the bottom of it. But otherwise, it was a nice soft bread. Great for soaking up in soup. I needed to get butter out. I should have had butter out. Uh-oh. Trying to leak out over on the side of the counter here. Hey, Soulfluff. Like I said, scramble just being easy on you tonight. Barbecue? Nice one, Soph. In my 1250 watt microwave, I did that for 20 seconds to soften it up. I need to get a ratio in front of me though for this. Let's see here. I got too much butter here again, too. Do I go? No. That would be often the case, average chicken song. I went with... This is the lemon one. There's a lemon one, there's a raspberry one. I've had this microwave a long time. It's going to be a pain when I have to replace it with one that's got half the power. Granted, this one's also a pain when it comes to certain things like burning under the recommended cook times in there, but... I don't think I have any pastry flour anymore. That's a bummer. Cake flour would have been nice for this, for keeping it light. You might be able to find one like that. Most of them, they've got them around a set wattage of about 900 to 1,000 in most cases these days. Or less. We got our egg. I think we're down to our flavorings basically here, so... Do we want to do lemon or raspberry? What did I say in the dinner command? Just tea cake? Lemon? Okay. I'll go with Will. Butter's not cheap. And because we're doing tea, let's throw a little honey in there too. I'm making all of the bakers that are like precision with their recipes go insane right now. We'll do flour first. That look good? I think I'm gonna go with that. And I'm debating, let's do a pinch of salt too. You'll note I didn't do vanilla. I did that on purpose because I didn't want to overpower the tea. Hello, Nan Rainer. Yeah, new setup's great for that. I don't have to worry about the camera trying to follow me back here. It can't. Now I just have to figure out what I did with all my tins. Everything's okay. Or do I go for a square, chat? I haven't tried using one of these to use for a cake. They're made for bread. Let's do the round. Sorry for headphone users. Maybe that was the last time. I hope. Tonight. The pros use a combo of flour and butter these days. I'm just going with butter. But science says makes it stick more. I don't care. Piece of eggshell or something? Not sure what that was from. That was a dumb move. Feels like a piece of eggshell. Alright, so that's set, waiting on the oven to heat up. Pork is set. Let's do something with our asparagus here. What do I got back here? I got any balsamic? Can we do the done to death? Oh yes, we even have Cola Vita balsamic. Perfect. I guess I'll start a new pile. I got rid of my rubber band pile because most of them were getting crispy. Nah. I think I'm going to save the rest of this. Are you going to fit into this nicely? I hope. Nope. I guess we'll ruin another bag. If I was making something recent, that was actually why I hesitated throwing it out. They're great for soup, so if you're going to do a pureed soup. I would suggest you strain said soup, but not necessarily so much stock, though. They're a pretty potent flavor for stock, but soups, any sort of vegetable soup or anything along that line, they're a wonderful, thing, even if you're just infusing the broth. The major problem with the stems is they get woody and they get stiff and they're just not pleasant to chew. They still have plenty of flavor. You know that balsamic's good stuff when it's splitting, right? Out of the bottle. Ooh, yeah. That's good stuff. Two-tone. A little Worcestershire. A little soy. Almost done with this bottle of soy. Well, now what? I could put the butter back away, couldn't I? That might be a smart plan, huh? Yeah, I'll use glass. Hey, head of broccoli. We're just sort of chilling right now, head of broccoli. I've gone and marinated a couple of pork loins, pork cut, not tenderloins, slices of pork loin, pork chops, boneless pork chops. There we go. Words. Brain. Anyways, we have boneless pork chops marinating in lemon tea, garlic, and pepper. Got asparagus marinating in balsamic vinegar, soy, and Worcestershire. And we are waiting on our oven to still get up to 350 to bake our cake, because we have a tea cake for dessert tonight. Let's see, can I open that from here easy? Of course not. Oh, hey. Maybe I can. Okay. Well, that's good. At least that's not... At least one thing in my world is not So happy Wednesday, everyone. Hopefully everyone's had a good week so far. Hopefully you're not all snowed in. Hopefully you're not... Like, I posted the video of it in the Discord. There was a couple of blocks in Detroit that apparently had like a water main failure. And then it froze. And so like there's a video of like a block, a neighborhood block with all the cars on the street, like ice halfway up them. Like, it sounds like there's a house alarm going off during that video. Like, how do you turn it off? Like, the house is surrounded by ice. Like, I don't even know how could you drive on that ice? Can you get, like, is it thick enough? I doubt it. Thank you for the follow. More plain fun in the news, too. I'm sort of getting to the point where I want spring. Like, we haven't had a ton of rain this winter, so it's been, as far as I'm concerned, a rather light winter, which isn't necessarily good for our summer. But still, I'm sort of done with winter. Ooh, we're having barrel auctions. Is it that time already? I thought that was like spring. I thought that was... Isn't that later this year? Isn't that like April, May? Yeah, it's May. Okay. They're just talking about it now. For those unfamiliar that don't live in the mine world, they host barrel auctions. They're little like futures almost, like you buy a barrel but you don't really hold on to it. They deal with it for you. Or you can just buy barrels. But it's generally, beginning of the season when they're getting going with things, they do these auctions. It's like, surprised they're talking about it in February. You got another month or two. It's one of the two peak, like, visitor seasons here. We have barrel tastings season. We have people doing wine tastings throughout the summer, so summer's busier than winter, but barrel tasting, and harvest. Alright, gonna go ahead and throw our tea cake in the oven. I'm going to look at it in 18 minutes. I expect it to take longer. I'm going to melt some chicken stock down, because I'm going to do a combination of chicken stock and tea for the rice. Do 50-50. I've talked before about how I sort of got into doing the whole streaming thing as a record of things for the future, and made a realization the other day that not only am I recording all of my... I mean, I've sort of thought about this in other ways, but I didn't make the realization until now that I'm sort of one of those people that, like, takes a photo of themselves every day, because there is now a video of me for the last 5 years essentially every other day of my life. And so, like, there's all sorts of other things that could potentially, you know, health and stuff like that that could be extracted. I am not. My ingredient challenge is I buy the ingredients that I'm using. And so we have... Chat doesn't think this is a bottle, but we have bottled iced tea. So if it's not so much looking back on it, like, I don't think that's going to be so much interesting as being able to have those videos and be like, hey, AI, what happened to me through there? And same thing for the, like I said, I was doing video because I don't want to sit there and write everything down. I'm not going to remember it long enough to write it down, much less want to write it down in the first place. I'm not even going to be accurate about writing how much it is. I mean, AI can sit there and look at it and be like, probably be more accurate about what I'm putting into something than the measurement I used. Or at least it will in the future. You know, after the Dark Ages period where it sends us into a massive recession and maybe depression, everyone gets fired and we have to relearn how to live. But, you know, after that, everything's going to be great. I say that like I'm kidding. I'm saying it like I'm kidding, sort of like someone who's trying to prevent crying about it. Like, yeah. What massive chain is closed in New York? Oh, it's just old news rehashed. Yes, we all know Denny's is closing, like, all of their stores. It astonishes me that Denny's has lasted this long. Like, every single time I pass by a Denny's, it's empty. Like, it's sort of like those places that you're sort of like, are they mobbed up? Like, how the heck do they survive? Like, that's how I feel about Denny's. Not charging 50 cents extra per egg? Or was it 25 cents? What is Waffle House charging? That's another thing that may be news to people. Waffle House is charging an upcharge now for extra eggs. I sort of view them as much the same. Like, Waffle House is a little more concentrated. Like, it's all in the South. We don't have Waffle Houses out here in California, but maybe in the South. IHOP I sort of view as a slightly higher price point than Waffle House or Denny's. They're essentially the same business. But, like, yeah. At least you get all the syrup at IHOP. Hey, Shanavision. We're working with iced tea tonight. I'm defrosting some stock. I've got pork chops marinating in tea and seasoning. I've got asparagus marinating in balsamic. Twitch also announced a bunch of well, sort of soft announced a bunch of stuff today. Like, I suspect it was put out in paperwork ahead of time and I didn't read it or something like that. But they're putting limits on how many... like, it might have... they might have thrown this information out with the death of PubSub, but in April next month, they're putting limits on how many clips people can have. And they're putting limits on how many featured clips people can have. They're also making changes to their punishment system. As always, they seem to do that, on a monthly basis. But apparently they're now going to be allowing 96% of all suspensions back over some period of time. And are going to be implementing the best way I can call it is a punishment system where you do this bad behavior and we're going to prevent you from doing this bad behavior, but you're still welcome to be here. Let's see, if I didn't want the fat there, I could have taken that off really easy right there. I'm not caring, I'm just going to leave it in there. Going back to breakfast places, I've always sort of thought of IHOP as not highbrow, but more expensive than Waffle House and Denny's. Like, I don't think of IHOP as the place that... It might be, depending on where you are. The ones around me, I don't think. They're not open at 2 a.m. They're not the open all hours, welcome to come in and throw our furniture if you want. Why do you stop following me? Something about this hasn't been... Something about Son of Wiggles has not been happy since we made the change here. Or I made the change here. You got 1 cup of lemon iced tea. That's good enough for me. That's the way Denny's, as I remember it, is since I was like a kid. Like, laminated pressboard tables, hard seats, most of them permanently put in place. If you want to compare the colors here between chicken stock and half tea, and all of the fat. I don't know how many stores they have pent out. I know they're closing 150. So it's not a minor thing. That said, that could easily be less than 10% too, but it's still, I doubt it's less than 5. Almost done with our first timer on this cake. I'm staring at the YouTube dad joke. Are there colonels in the army? I mean, perhaps at one time or a different army, but I'm speaking of the U.S. Army. Nope. Give that another 5 minutes. I'm sitting here and double guessing myself now because A-Team. This is about the extent of my knowledge of the Army. We'll let that sit for a minute. Stock. No, I don't want to do that. Maybe do... Oh. Trying to think of sauce with the pork. Hi, Dances. It's just tea. There's no sugar. There's a little salt. They put some salt in there, but it's just tea, lemon juice concentrate, natural flavors. Stevia. Stevia sort of throws me off. My body and stevia don't get along well. For here at home, it's a little bit of both. For ingredient challenges, as far as the stream is concerned, I always buy the ingredient for that. Debating, like I said, I was debating what I want to do. Like, I don't want to overpower the tea in any form that's on the pork. Yeah, cherry flavor has come a long way since I was a kid. Like, cherry flavor was basically cough syrup when I was a kid. Oh, we got some decent flavored cherry stuff. We got a cake, chat. Oh, I can turn the oven off now so I can stop sweating again. Oh, I only pulled a half cup of rice out. I need a cup. Pretty sure you can get Yorkshire Gold everywhere. Yeah, I don't care, phone. From a company called Resheet. There's a company named after a mushroom? That's an interesting one. You know what, I'm just going to do this in the smaller bowl. I got a better lid for this one. Are we keeping track of how many dishes I'm just absolutely getting dirty for no reason at all tonight? There's a couple. Oh. That's far less interesting. We're obviously going to want some salt in our rice, so. Waiting on that to bubble now. I can't do sweet tea, American sweet tea. I've tried it on a couple of bases. My roommate in college absolutely loved Bojangles, so I had to give Bojangles a shot, but I cannot, no. Just no to sweet tea. Sorry. Porch sweet tea may be separate thing. I like green tea, like, it may be a weird thing for me, but I actually sort of like that, like, bitter tea, straight green tea, when I'm, like, hot, sweaty, been exercising, whatever. Just, that to me, I sort of like that, and it's somehow more refreshing to me. But I'll also fully admit that I'm a cheap Arizona iced tea drinker, too. I mean, you give me a tall boy for $1 these days, that's like steal. Thoroughly frustrating when, one of the supermarkets here in town has them permanently on sale for $1.50 when nationwide they retail for $1. Want to say 22 ounces? Maybe 24? 22, 24? Alright, we'll get our rice going here. This one's not bad, but like I said, it's only got stevia in there. So, I mean, there's not much in that. It's like buying unsweetened tea. Are you depressed by the convenience stores here too? I haven't been to Japan. I just hear about it from everyone that talks about Japan. You hear from 7-Eleven here how they're trying to emulate their own stores in Japan. Like, why don't you just do what you're doing in Japan? Alright, rice is now sitting. It's gotten its boil on. So it is just got to sit. So I'm going to be doing the pork over here. Waiting for that to come up to temp. We're pretty close here, but I want to get this up to just under smoking, which we are getting there now. And that's going to be for our asparagus. I'm going in straight into the pan without taking the marinade off, washing it off, drying it off. Drying it off would help us get a better crust, if you're worried about that, but cast iron, I'm not concerned. Oh yeah, Texas people love Buc-ee's. And there's some huge, like you get into the major highway interchanges and they've got some pretty impressive truck stops. Yeah, I've seen a couple of those. Pinto. I wholeheartedly agree. In many convenience stores, that is the experience. I feel for the lady that runs my local 7-Eleven because it looks like she's, I don't know if it's She looks like she's getting used. Like, she does all the work in the place. All of the work in the place. I don't go in there very often, but over 15 years, it's been the same lady there, so... She does, like, all the work from when I've been in there. And the guy doesn't do anything. He sits in the back and watches the computer. Give this a 180 flip here. Flame back up on the bigger pan. And we'll start in with our asparagus. In the pan here, I took a splash of chicken stock and butter and tried to pull up as much of the fond as I could. I'm just going to pour that over. Not really a sauce per se, but sort of. This is gonna need a healthy dose of salt. I also think this needs some butter to help with that tea astringency. Nice grab there, Jay. Wish I had a garnish that, like, screamed tea for this that I could put there to, like, I don't have tea leaves or something, like, fine dining. We could put, like, a sprig of tea leaves or something on there and have the waiter take it off. Grab some photos here. They're in the vocal majority. They are not the majority. Well, I'm gonna have to break the knife out to get this detached. It's a non-stick pan, but it likes catching right around the point where it pinches into the pan. So once you get it going around that edge, typically it releases all the way rest around. We'll go with this way. Hi, Alex. So let's give everything a shot here since it's ingredient challenge night. I've taken photos for the Discord for later. We gotta show off the cake and annoy all of those bakers that we got a decent... It's not as fluffy as it could be. That's a nice cake. That'll work. Let's see about flavor. Was I right in skipping the vanilla? It's there, but I'm wondering... I'm thinking the egg and the butter are actually overpowering the tea. I can sort of tell it's there. There's a little bit of the astringent black tea flavor, which this has a decent amount to. And there's a decent amount of lemon there too, but it's not very strong on the lemon. Like, you wouldn't taste and be like, yeah, that's a lemon cake. It's more like, is there lemon there? Yeah, I guess so. It is not pentoed. I don't know that I would necessarily recommend that one for recreation though, but there are all sorts of meatball stroganoffs out there on the web. If you're looking for an equivalent, you can find something similar. Let's try this pork. Delicious. Ever so slightly heavy on the salt with the rice tonight. But that's all delicious. It's all going to be yummy. I tend to look at the prices of the packages and try and find a deal amongst the packages. I did make sure, like, they had one there that was a little bit cheaper, but they were much thinner cut. And I was like, no, thank you. Alright, folks. So I'm going to call that a B pass for an ingredient challenge night. I'm not going to call this an A. I'm thinking it's going to work out alright. appreciate you all for hanging out with me tonight. Gonna be back here on Friday, like usual. We're going back to doing Minecraft foods, so I'm gonna be doing baked fish, dried kelp. Debating if I want to do baked potato too or not. Sort of want to because I got a bunch of sour cream to use up. So I might do baked potato too. And then Sunday, even more Minecraft foods. So I hope you come back to join me for all that. If not, we're back to normal food after Sunday on Monday. And I hope you all have a great evening and a great finish to your week. Good night.